go. Oh, it's the pressure's there. Look, we have a 6-hour
Happy New
limit.
Year.
Can you see that? Can you see that? 6 hours in the corner? You can't see that? On me, it lets me know that we have 6 hours, so I think we can cover everything.
Hopefully.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your weekly Not So Live show. Cheryl is here, and Dave is back. Last time we saw Dave, he was lying on the ground. He was in a lot of pain. But today, he's back to tell us all about it. I have a lot of breaking news, including the HYROX major qualifications is up, but incorrect. I was so excited to post, and then everyone's like, nope, it's wrong. But Dave, can we start with catching us up on our little adventure together last weekend?
I guess not last weekend, the weekend before now.
Was it the weekend before last?
Yeah,
Last
Dave
weekend
has
just
had
ended
2
yesterday.
events.
Okay. So yeah, let's do that. Let's catch up on that. And then you did another event. Yeah, you did another event. You did a fucking backwards half rocks.
Yeah, the reverse half rocks. That was just yesterday.
I definitely want to hear about that. So,
All right,
Dave, I have a question for you about the event you were at with Matt.
Okay.
Everybody's watching you do those wall balls. Could you tell everyone was watching you do those wall balls? Like the fact that the camera was on you, everybody was watching. If you were going to be perfect, I can't imagine that would be pleasant at all.
I am well aware that every time I do a squat of any kind, it either has to be to depth, exaggeratedly past depth, or I have to accuse myself of a bad rep, even if it's not.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I can live with that. But that's why anytime I do anything, I have Rye video it or anything like that so I can see it and see what I'm doing. And even this weekend, I called a no rep on myself.
Yeah, can I interject?
Oh, sorry, Rye needs to talk.
Your judge was very happy with you. He said you were so easy, you no repped yourself.
Yeah, I no rep myself this weekend. So, and that was the big joke. Everybody laughed because I missed the target. It wasn't a depth thing. I missed the target. But yeah, it is always in the back of my mind that everybody's watching.
Just the judge of being you.
The judge in Windsor, he was like, when we got down to the last ones, because you had a couple like really close, and he was just like, all right, that's it. We're gonna get you. And I think he no repped you once in the last 10, and I might have given you that one as well. So
that was target stuff. It was never depth.
It was well, they were being, I think they were overall being less. I don't think most people worry about the target at any kind of like sim or anything. I mean, they were super generous during the half rocks to me, which I mean the tri rocks, which they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And
that
then
was the plan,
and then during the regular, I thought they did a good job. Again, there were people, like there was a woman I was watching who was like not even close. She kept hitting way too low on the target, but she was hitting it, and we're like close enough for jazz.
Yeah, and I even think of one guy who was doing the open. So like when we kind of had our mandate from the guys running the event, and they were like, the pro guys be really harsh, the open people be a little nicer, and then the tri rocks, they're just trying. Right. So I did have an open guy who was not going deep enough, and then rather than no rep him a constant time, because he was a very fit guy, and he just didn't, he didn't know.
I want to get my professional podcaster's professional opinion on this, because
we got to get him close for this.
I keep and E.F. Hutton says that goes way back. So which is exactly what it should be, right? Like open should be fucking open, as I've been screaming from the rooftops. So the let's just say lunatic CrossFitters of the world, right? Those in Hiller camp who see a video of clearly an open racer, clearly doing horrible reps. And the analogy they're using is a marathon, but it's wrong. And I couldn't think of the right way to reframe it, because they're like, oh, that's like saying you only have to do 20 miles of a marathon. So explain to me why open reps don't have to be perfect, and how, like, what is the equivalent? Because I couldn't think of a good one. Well, did you guys all freeze, or are you thinking of an answer? Go ahead.
I think I got that. There was a little glitch there, but I think I got the question. So basically, you want to know. So you want to know why open reps don't need to be as good, right?
Well, no, I want to know a better. I want to know a better
Oh.
analogy than why do you let that's like saying someone only has to run 25 miles of the marathon, which is not the same. And I can't think of how or why it is, how we can make a running equivalent, but I can't think of it.
I don't really think you can make a running equivalent. You would have to go somewhere else.
I have a
with it.
thought.
Okay, go ahead, Cheryl.
First of all, I tend to agree with the CrossFitters. You'll need to know that. Like I tend to be, look, this is the race, do the race, right? But
And I'm going to get to that in a sec.
yeah. So, but I would say you can finish a marathon lots of ways. You can run, walk it. You can run it. You know what I mean? And I think that in their analogy, they would just say that everybody has to run it, and you don't have to, right? Like you can finish it by, strolling along and picking daisies. You don't have to finish it the way the pros would finish it, which is just running all out, high threshold. So that's the only analogy I can think that would slightly get to what you're saying. I tend to agree with them. So I want to hear what Dave has to say. Maybe he'll
So you don't think, Cheryl, you think some guy that's like, 250 body mass index of 56%, you think he needs to be held to the same standard as, Dylan Scott?
If the standard is, say, wall balls, squat to depth, throw to the target, yes. I think that's why we've got the boxes that, yes, it may take him 25 minutes to get it done, but I feel like that's the race. And so unfortunately, like I'm happy to cheer them on and I'm happy to, hope that they do it. I don't think everybody can do these races. I don't think everyone can do it.
But shouldn't we have a category that does allow for that?
Right.
Those are two
And the
different
category
questions.
would be DEKA.
So here's the thing. Here's where I'm actually on the side of Cheryl, and I'll explain how my opinion works.
Okay.
What we hosted there in Windsor was a gym event to introduce people to HYROX. There's nothing on the line. There was no prizes. There was no anything. It was merely you're running your race for your own benefit.
No world
So in that
qualifications.
situation, when they told me be a little easier on the open and really easy on the people doing the HYROX, I was in complete harmony with that because this is an introduction, right? Where I side with Cheryl is when you are in an open wave of HYROX, you are still competing for world championship qualifications. You're competing for podiums. You're competing for world records. I hate saying that, but you are. These are the things you're doing in the open division in HYROX at a regular full race. So in that case, I believe the standards should be upheld to the same level for everybody. Now, where I agree with Matt is they actually should introduce a different division, a HYROX division, where yes, they do not have to hit the standards as hard, where it's just, an introductory division. Again, I go back to RX1, which I do so many other time. They have their discovery division, which is just for people just figuring it out and just getting involved. So I firmly agree with you, Cheryl, and some of the CrossFit people. I don't agree with how they call everybody out, like, old ladies struggling and stuff like that. But yeah, I think in a full-blown HYROX, and Matt is obviously frozen, in a full-blown HYROX, they should hit the standards.
It kind of feels like, HYROX is the big show, right? And the problem is you don't know who's coming through. The people who I'm competing against, and maybe we're competing for top 3 on a good day for me. If she's not hitting depth and I'm watching her not hit depth and they're counting her reps, that's a problem for me. They don't know that she's competing for first place. And so
no, and it could be someone if we think back to Faye Stenning, who just ran an amazing race and then gets to the wall balls and looks completely out of place. And you think, oh, well, this person's just, they're just trying to get by. But you'd be making a horrible mistake because they're actually super fast. So, yeah, so I actually side with Cheryl. But Matt, did you get any of that, or did you go for coffee?
I didn't go for coffee. I went to grab my food. Listen, the wife and Emma are
pretty close.
The wife and Emma are out of town. I'm feeding the boys. We're going air fryer crazy, but you can only cook one thing at a time in the air fryer. So if you want it to do properly, so making burgers for them and turkey burgers for me, and pulling things out, and put things back in. So
Multitasking.
But I'm saying, okay, so I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is maybe we should give HYROX a TRYROX category, and a category easier than
100%.
open or less strenuous than open. But as it stands now, the rules are the rules, and do the fucking thing the way they're supposed to be doing. That's what you guys are saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I agree with you that they should have a division for people to come in and just give it a shot, where things are more laps and more just about getting through and challenging yourself. I totally think that'd be great, and it should cost less.
Well, then everybody would just pick that one and say, "Suck it." What?
No, they wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I
Would
wouldn't,
you, Cheryl?
because it probably wouldn't come with
Not a chance.
podiums or qualifications or incentives to try harder. So, right.
Exactly. And I wouldn't. And in that division, I wouldn't even keep time. I would say you.
I guess
keeping your own time.
then that is my beef. Then, because
That's why I should.
I don't expect someone who's clearly out there for the first time. Now, they also should have trained for it, right? At least a little bit, but
Exactly.
they probably didn't, right? Just like people go out to a Spartan or a half or whatever. I guess that's that is my beef. Then it's like, HYROX, change your. It's like I was saying, like, have the 90-minute or less wristband. You're over it, cool. We don't give a shit what you do. Like, we just want to move you on. We want you here. We want you to come back. We want you to tell your friends. Whatever. That's where I'm at with it. It's not a sport. It's a mass participation sport and an elite sport. It's not just one or the other.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree with that for sure.
Yep. It needs that extra category. The problem in the beginning was calling divisions open and pro, and that was a monstrous
Right.
mistake.
Which
Because
may just be a German to English thing.
Yeah. I mean, they should have just called it light and heavy.
Right.
And then we can go to extra light.
So back to the event with the TRYROX. So yeah,
Okay. So the guy, I'll go back to my little story. The guy that was in the open and was coming close, but not quite to depth. So basically, because he was probably in his 30s and, fit guy and everything. So rather than no rep him, I merely started mocking him.
Okay.
okay.
And he was doing a doubles. And I was mocking him to the point where he actually switched out with his partner. Now, he obviously, in the moment, did not believe I was right. Didn't believe that he was not getting to depth, but he wasn't. However, I'm going to say 30 minutes later, he came over to me and he goes, "You know what? I'm sorry I acted that way. And it turns out you were right. I wasn't getting low enough."
People don't know.
No, and he didn't want to
Right.
not get low enough.
No,
right?
he thought he was fine, right?
He just, yeah. But anyway, that was the scenario, and was a great guy. I mean, that's a class act to do, to come up and say, "Hey, you know what? I made a mistake." Maybe, and he didn't tell me to fuck off. He didn't swear. He didn't do nothing. He just kind of switched out and kind of turned the back, which is really maybe a little side eye, which is really not
I don't
bad
know
at
if
all.
anybody's thrilled to have you pull up next to them as a judge, Dave. I had you in Ocala in World Champs for my DEKA mile, and all of a sudden you come pulling up to me, and I thought, for burpees, I was not happy at that point, right?
Yeah. But that's
just shut up and let me get this done, Dave. And you were just hollering at me about stuff, and none of us like it, and yet we all have signed up for this, and it wouldn't be the same without you.
If we don't do it, we don't have consistency. We don't have fairness.
You're absolutely right. And
we need. The truth is, we need not just Dave to be worried about. That's what we need. We just need good judges.
Any judges. You're right. Any judge should be just as terrifying. Yes.
Well, they should just hold the standard. It's just
I loved.
It's not easy to do. I mean, and I'll say this, Matt. I don't know. Like, have you ever tried to judge like an elite race?
No, but I'm not known to be a softie, so that's not would be difficult.
No, I know, but it's not easy. Even if you're not a softie, it's not easy, because you get in your head. You get thinking, "Oh my God!" Like, let's say I'm watching Dylan Scott, and he's not, because Dylan, there was a time where he struggled with his depth, and I'm like, okay, he's not quite getting down there, but he's so close. But I know he's not there. It's really hard to call that no rep, because you start thinking in your head, I am now affecting the outcome of the race and potentially costing Dylan Scott thousands of dollars.
I can see that, and I can see, we expect the same from from CrossFit judges and CrossFit volunteers are the same thing. They're just a guy or gal from a gym that wants to participate in this event and probably has some level. I mean, they've got their L1s or whatever, but at the end of the day, they've got a rep or no rep people that are racing for prizes and money. So I'm not going to be so glib as to say, oh, I would always do great. I can see what you're saying, that in the moment, and especially, you know, the majors, the worlds, lights are on you. I could totally see that. But again,
I'm not calling you out on this, Matt, because I know you're not. I know you're actually not like that. But there are people out there who are constantly get more judges, get a better judge, get this, get that. I'm sorry, step the fuck up.
No, I agree. I don't, and I'm not, again, I don't expect every volunteer ever to be the toppest notch ever. I think the issue that I've always had, Dave, going back to our Spartan days, is, you know, you can't find 10 people for the elite heat for the men and women. Like, that's all you fucking need. Like that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's like the basics, we got to have it. And at HYROX, for the most part, they seem to have that dialed in, right? For the majors in the worlds,
they're doing a lot better. But I still think that, like, there was some stuff at Worlds that made me shake my head. There's some stuff in HYROX's, I mean, this is not where we were going, but some stuff in HYROX's judging system, not the people, but the system that they've laid out for the judges, that I shake my head at. And I've been a part of it. I'm like,
well, what did you think was off at Worlds?
Well, for example, if we were going like the sleds, they have the sled push. They have one person at each end watching the line, but one person is watching two different people.
No, that's correct. They did not have enough. Yeah. They definitely
so that on the sled pull, not the push. My apologies. On the pull, the push is not much of a difference, but on the pull, it's a big.
So so like at Worlds, like between staff, paid staff, and volunteers, you can have that dicked, as we say. Like, that's not hard. You got 5 or 6. What is it? Elite races, right? Men and women singles, men, women doubles. Really, like, you should be able to do that. That's not that hard.
Yeah, you should. But again, it is trickier than you think. I mean, Cheryl's husband judges a lot often, and he'll tell you, like, it's tough to find good judges. Even the ones that are good are still it's still a struggle.
And I will say, Matt, next time you go to like a DEKA Strong or a DEKA Mile, you should volunteer to judge just to get the experience, because it's not hard to do that. Like, they always need.
You're not the boss of me.
Okay, I definitely not the boss of you. But I will say that I consider myself.
Hold on, wait a minute. She's the pilot. You're the co-pilot, so she is the boss of you.
Not off the HYROX course, yeah. So, I have judged, and I have had opportunities to have people question. I judged DEKA Worlds in Dallas, where I was on the tanks, and I was overruled by a DEKA staff member. And I went back and looked, and I knew this person had done 4 lengths, and yet everybody else was going faster than this person. And when everybody started taking off, this person acted like they wanted to take off. I said, no, you're 4. And I got completely overruled, and was told, nope, you must have made a mistake. And I went back and looked at the tape, and I did not make a mistake, right? So somebody got 4 lengths and everybody else got 5, right? That kind of stuff happens where you can have people who question how well you do. But personally, I tend to question. If I'm judging wall balls or I'm judging burpees, number one, am I absolutely certain that that's a good rep? That's a hard thing to judge sometimes. And number 2, I really do care about these people. I don't care who it is. They're working their butts off, right? Like, I am really, really rooting for them, and to no rep them is really, really hard. And so I do think it's kind of a personality thing. And Dave, I remember I think Matt interviewed you at this event where he took a little snippet about you being a judge. And you said the bottom line is that you cannot care about the outcome, right? Yeah. Like, as a judge, if you don't care about the outcome, then it makes it 100% easier. And I would absolutely agree. And I always care. Like, I'm so excited for them, and they're working so hard, especially these people at the very end, like wall balls or burpees. It's terrible.
I know. And then we have a really small sport. And this goes back to me. This makes me think of, which I just saw happen on the OCR report, where, you know, a cameraman directed a person, and Steve Hammond used to do it all the time. And trust me, I'm not saying it's easy to watch someone, you know, and maybe known for years, go off course, but you gotta bite your fucking tongue. right?
So
I do want to. I want to speak. I want to.
do.
I want to speak to the volunteering on site though, because typically, not always, I am doing my job, right? I am racing and then getting content and then sharing and trying to blow up whatever gym I'm visiting, whether I'm paid or not. But what I will do is, I mean, now that I think about it, it's a little passive aggressive, but like when I see someone doing shitty reps, especially on those last few, I'll say it. I'll go a little higher. And then the judge usually kind of picks up on that cue, or you got to get a little higher, John. I'll say that when I see them kind of half fisting it. So I feel like that's kind of like the best I can do in that stake, since I'm not the actual judge, because I've seen some bad ones.
Yeah, and that's actually okay, because you're not affecting the race then.
No, and I'm just like, I'm rooting for that person to do a good job, and I'm sort of like saying it to the judge without saying it to the judge. And sometimes, as you know, it's somebody that works at that gym and they're never going to say boo. And sometimes it's a person. Sometimes it's the person that actually owns the gym and they might actually do it. But I'm sure we've all seen at gym events, not such great reps, which again, I'm not that big of a deal on unless you're qualifying. I'm like, let's not. But again, I don't think you should be allowed like just flat out horrible, but like, sometimes it's closer than we need to, and it's not that big of a deal, right? Like,
Yes.
Like I'm trying to think of the ones besides the ones. What else is really tough on DEKA? I can't think.
Lunges.
What else is?
The lunges are tough.
Lunges are the worst thing to judge in between between HYROX and DEKA.
What are the?
Because they are so fast.
What are we? I'm sorry. What are we using for DEKA?
Reverse lunges.
Oh, the first station. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of. I'm thinking of the middle of the race, and I'm like, no, the middle of the race we don't do them. Oh yeah, the very first station, because they're so quick and
so fast.
Yeah. That's a tough one too.
There's most people, especially at the elite level, are doing one every half second.
Right. That's a tough one.
And they're not fully extending ever.
No. So it becomes it's an area to play with, and that's why we never wanted to go to lockout, because to judge a lockout on every one of those lunges would be a near impossibility.
Right.
So what did we decide to go with? Because I know they changed it, right?
So that's why we went with the imaginary line from ankle, knee, hip, shoulder.
Right.
Just kind of standing tall.
Yeah, which is also hard, but it gives a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah, it's a lot of flexibility.
I want to start getting to these topics because we have a lot of topics. Let's get
to
it.
No.
All right, let's start with 60-year-old change.
Cheryl.
Son of a bitch.
Go on.
Cheryl, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Dave's sitting back with his, it looks like a twisted tea or something. I'm going to sit back with my LaCroix.
No, beer. Have at it, Cheryl.
Look, I was so angry last Friday. I couldn't believe it. Dave sent me that story, and Matt, you were the same way. I was like, really? Is this old news? Like, are they really?
Yeah. So first, UK HXR, my very good friend Ian, and we talk constantly, and he shared it, and I thought, oh well, like sometimes HYROX does that. They'll post something they've already posted from the week before because it's a slow news day. So I thought it was the old news, and truth be told, I had to call Cheryl and get my brain straight. I was like, wait a minute, what was it? What did we change it to? Where are we at now? Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yeah, a full 100% reversal, which had me absolutely baffled. I had told Dave, I think we were on, I don't know where you were, Matt. We were talking about this and just how much freer I felt as a 50-something, feeling like I still had life in this sport, that I could still go ahead and use pro weights. And that just helped me feel like I was going to be able to continue the journey that I'm on and not be kind of restricted to these open weights, which I feel like are going to make me less strong if I'm not, training for this. I will say that this goes back to kind of what we were just talking about, as far as my initial reaction is the race is the race. When do we ever get to dictate what weights or distances are in a race? The race company brings you a race and says, here's what the race is. And then you do the race or you don't do the race. And I had never in my life heard.
Well, Dave gives us a choice on the HTX though.
What?
But that's the race. And you
He
pay
does.
for your lightweight with extra reps.
Exactly. And so, and look, I can't say I'm going to get on the HTX leaderboard if I only do 20 reps of the 20 pounders, right? Like, it's just the race is the race. And I felt like it was just baffling to me that HYROX would be just bow to a bunch of people just saying, well, we don't want to do that. It's like, if you don't want to do it, then go do something else. I don't email CrossFit HQ and say, you need to make this stuff lighter so that I can participate in the open. Like, I don't do that. I say, oh, that looks too hard for me. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do something different. And so there is a big part of me that feels like I don't understand why we get to dictate the terms of these races. The race is the race. And so I'm really disappointed. I don't know of anybody in my age group who currently races pro weights is looking forward to racing open. We all want to stay in pro. We all want to stay that strong.
I have a bigger question. Since when has HYROX said, after listening to the community?
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, wouldn't there be many other changes, including that, like, the Berlin course is too short. We shouldn't have DQ'd the whole American team. Like, since when? That was the most bizarre part to me, honestly, was like, why did you make this decision?
Yeah, how many?
So what I'm taking from this is we're not complaining noisily enough.
Right. Is that what they're saying? Make enough noise, be an old person and make enough noise.
They're teaching us how to treat them, right?
So,
yeah.
When I first saw this, I immediately said Cheryl is going to be pissed.
I was pretty upset.
I think rightfully so. I think rightfully so. I don't know, the way it sits in my head when they went to allow the pro weights for 60 plus. I thought, great, that's how you're supposed to qualify for world championships. If you run the weights at 60 plus in open, awesome. You qualify for open championships. That's where you're going to go. That's your pinnacle race. That's where you're headed. The world championships is pro weights. So you qualify with pro weights. And guess what? And people have said, well, maybe there's 3 people. I don't fucking care. So there's 3 people who deserve their kudos because they did it with the pro weights and they deserve to be there. They shouldn't be handicapped because they can do it more. So because if I'm a 60-year-old man and I can do my pro weights, but maybe I don't run that fast, now all of a sudden I have to go in the faster runners race. I get handicapped because other people aren't as strong as me. That's you're penalizing people who are potentially better athletes.
And I just feel like it is such a blanket statement to just imply that anybody who's 60 plus is just so fragile that there's only going to be 3 or 4 of us doing it. There's going to be plenty of us doing it. We may go a little slower, but we'll still do it.
I mean, what can we go into a conspiracy corner here? Like, did one of their sponsors who's that old want to do it open? Like, seriously, I can't, even if you believe them, it's like, but again, why would you all of a sudden listen to the community, which again wasn't even that loud. It wasn't even like, I don't think it was 50-50. You know what I'm saying? There are things that people bitch about way more. This was, I just can't imagine why they did it.
So here's the one thing. They took a situation where there was no option, gave it an option so that everybody could be happy, and then took it away again.
Right. And I think that's what's frustrating to me is just give us the option, right? If you want to treat us special, then treat us special by giving us an option, right? That maybe there is. I do think if they beefed up those open championships, I think people would feel a lot better about that, where it felt like a bigger deal, because I think the open championships could be a super big deal and they just drop the ball on that every year. I want the hats back. I want the special prizes. I want the big deal. Like, I would love to have that. I will say since me just kind of blowing my top, you have a funny look on your face, Matt. I don't want to let that, do you have something to say?
When you said I want the hats back, I just thought of people wearing a bunch of silly hats. I don't know why. My brain just does that sometimes.
They used to pass out hats for North American Championships. I still have mine.
Rich posted it the other day, but I thought that was like before patches or something. I didn't know it was just the Open Championship.
It was extra. Yeah, it was like an extra thing. And wouldn't you want that for North American Championships, right? You want to feel special. You want to feel like you did something special. I have since calmed down a little bit. I still want the option, right? I still really, really want the option. I put myself in the shoes of, say, a 65-year-old right now. I mean, how long have we all been doing HYROX? Maybe for 4 years tops for the vast majority of us, unless you're like a German national who started back in 2017. The rest of us have only been doing this for about 4 years. So if you're a 65-year-old at this point, you actually know nothing different than racing open. And so for you, HYROX changed the race, right? Like I can see where that would have been a difficult thing for them to all of a sudden be told, oh no, you have to race this completely different race. And so I do have some empathy for those folks. But what HYROX needs to understand, and I was talking to, I talked to a couple people about this, but Peter Kelly, who he's one of my, I'm a big fan of him. He's over in the UK and he's like mid 60s. And he's always advocated for being able to race pro. And he has taken this much better than I have. He didn't use any bad words. He didn't call anybody bad things. Like the comment section in your post, Matt, was fantastic. Very entertaining. Just the people going back and forth. Anyway, implying things about each other, either too frail or anyway.
There'll be fights in the retirement community tonight.
Exactly. Like just pudding being thrown everywhere. Yeah. So Peter Kelly said to me, he said, this is the fight for you, your age group. The 55 to 59s are the ones who are going to have to get noisy because we're used to racing pro. And we are not going to want to stop racing pro just because we've turned 60. And that's coming around the corner pretty quick. And so I just want the option. If they want to treat
right. When they came for the 60-year-olds, I was silent.
Yeah, I'm 57.
And then they came for me.
I turned 58 this year. They've got a couple years, but
oh my God, Jesus Christ, what an old lady you are.
I'm so old. So yeah, I just think HYROX, if you want to treat 60-year-olds special, then give us the option.
Well, and again, like the more I think about it, it's like we're, the 27th reason HYROX is crushing it is that we are living in this fucking fitness is cool era. And people are staying healthier longer and taking more supplements and they're, taking some not legal things, but like everything that people are doing. So it's like, this is not like, 1974 and like, should women race? You know what I mean? Like this is like a time where, so it's even more sort of tone deaf that we quote unquote listen to the community.
One more thing.
I'd like to move one more thing.
Yes,
and then we're going to move
all
on.
they have to do is allow open in 60 plus to qualify for worlds as well as pro. That is all they would have to do.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, I get that. The only thing that I would say against that is that I think a person who, for example, finishes third in a 60 to 65 category pushing pro weights should have higher priority over a person finishing first pushing open weights. So
maybe there are more slots in the pro.
And I'm okay for that.
There is one slot for open or something. Yep.
All right. I wrote Peloton partnered with HYROX. Who cares? That's what my note says.
Moving on.
I mean, seriously, if maybe a day one of HYROX, this would have been a big deal when maybe like the word Peloton meant something more than the word HYROX. But at this point, like every single additional partnership is like, yep, fuck you, affiliates. Fuck you, coaches.
That announcement means something to me if we do a HYROX on Peloton bikes instead of running. Other than that, I don't care.
All right, moving on. DEKA Anaheim. We got affiliate access early. Do we need this? ? Is Cheryl's note.
Well,
I have two things to say about DEKA Anaheim.
Okay.
Fire.
So first of all, past Worlds, usually, Worlds is in December. And then usually they throw a couple of DEKA on the calendar that's like in January or February, right? Like it's sort of these early DEKA where nobody shows up. And I was really hoping maybe one of these years to hop in on one of those and run elite just to see, like, maybe I could actually make top 5, like do something really fun and have grandma, show everybody. And their first one is in March this year, which I actually think is smart. I don't think they were necessarily making the best decision by having those super early, right after Worlds DEKA fits. Go ahead and wait till March. Make Anaheim, which is always a really big one anyway, make that the opening. I think that's going to be really cool, but I'm just kind of disappointed that I don't get to show up to like Knoxville or something and have nobody else show up, and then, you know, me turn it out. So
they moved October. They moved Knoxville to October.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess
But,
it's
like,
going to stay there. I guess it's not this year's Worlds. It's next year's, and it's moved to October. Yep. Unless, are they going to do it twice? Are they going to try a HYROX and try to do it spring and fall?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't know why.
It'll just be an event that goes to 2026 Worlds.
I don't know why.
And is it going to stay there though? Is what I'm saying.
Maybe.
Oh, like they'll have it there again?
Like, no, it was February, March every year for a few years. So I'm saying, do you think it's now going to be in the fall calendar every year?
I think it depends on how it does.
I think this Anaheim race being the first one that they're announcing for next year is showing that maybe they're just redoing their entire calendar, which I think we talked last week about how they need to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Pick bigger cities and be more strategic. And I don't know why you would have any DEKA fits in between the close of World qualifying in September and Worlds. There's absolutely no reason to have a DEKA fit in between those two dates.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
But if this is a participation like HYROX, participation and elite sport, why not?
It still counts. And I mean, maybe we'll be proven wrong here. I just don't think it'll have the draw because so much going on at that time. People be getting ready for Worlds, things like that. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
But again, you're talking about us and the crazies. What about like someone that's like, hey, I've heard of this DEKA thing and I want to try it, or I've heard of this thing called HYROX and this seems like an easier version, and I'll try it.
And it may come out great. I just don't think it'll be their biggest event. But time will tell, right? Until it happens, we can't say for sure. But I'm a lot more like the whole thing that started this was the affiliate sales. And I mean, Anaheim was one last year not the only one, but was one this year that sold out, and people were trying so hard to get tickets and stuff. So I mean, I guess they're just throwing a bone to the affiliates to make sure that the people who are supporting it all year round get their chance. I don't know how the process looks of how they're divvying out tickets to affiliates or whatever, but I mean, I guess it's the same approach HYROX was taking.
So do the affiliates get it by this Friday, or do they already have it? I'm trying to remember, because I think it's this Friday. Tickets go on sale, right?
I'm looking at my own post, and it says pre-sale Wednesday, July 30th at 12.
Okay, so
this Wednesday.
12 Eastern. So 20. You've got 48 hours.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see if that makes a dent at all. Because I currently am not worried about getting a DEKA Fit ticket.
I don't think it'll be a problem to get a ticket. I just think this is something that, and again, I'm not in on these conversations. These have nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. So I'm just thinking that this is just something, because it sold out last time, that they're just saying to the affiliates, hey, you know, we want to make sure you guys get in, so we will do a pre-sale just in case.
Well, today's post, as of 3 hours ago, did have this, right? Hey, right. It looks like so first of all, if we take this literally, it means 12 stops, which is more than normal.
Yes.
And it says, where should we go next? It's not like they're going to listen to us.
Toronto.
Is that your thought? Is that your prediction?
That is my thought. It is not my prediction.
Okay. You don't think it's strong enough in Canada?
I actually think we'd be absolutely fine in Toronto. I think we did Toronto. We'd have an absolute great event. I just don't think DEKA is ready to cross the border with the trucks yet.
Okay.
Especially in current climate, crossing border on the road is not quite as easy as it has been in the past. Or, you know, there's more worry. So
I went the other day. They asked me.
I know, and I've done a bunch of times and I've had no issue either. But I know that there's more worry among people and businesses, so maybe they don't want to take that risk right now.
You didn't have a truck full of stuff, Matt.
Well, I had a rental car. And you don't know what I had in there. I'm not going to say it on this call. But you know what's crazy? When I talk to those people, I get nervous. Like, I don't have anything to be worried about. But like when I come back, especially when I come back and they're like, you know, well, what were you doing? And when they start asking more and more questions, I start to get nervous. I actually do lie. I don't say I'm working if I'm working, because that's a whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
I just say
Why
I'm
don't
visiting.
you?
Oh,
Why don't you
because
say you were?
because then it's a whole thing. If you're earning money in the country, it's a whole thing, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
massive. It's massive.
You wouldn't think
They would likely turn them away.
You wouldn't think it matters, especially if it's only a day or two. I learned this the hard way when I was a dummy and I came for was it not Mud Hero? What did I come up for? Oh my god, what was the name of that race?
OCRWC?
No. The first time was like 2014, and I went to. It was the old Mud Hero because they sold and now they suck. But in the old days they were good.
When it was Atkins and was working for them, right? Yeah, that
And
was
they
Mud
were
Hero.
Yeah, so I'm like, they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I'm working. I'm making some videos, and they were like pulling up the website and like all this crazy stuff. So yeah, hey, I'm visiting for a couple days. We're gonna do we'll go to a gym and work out, which sounds weird, but it's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, so 1, 2, 3, yeah, so 12 cities. And I did ask, can I please find out something ahead of time so I can help you with a post, help spread the love? And I've not heard anything yet. But yeah, this will be interesting. It's like you've said though, Cheryl. They can't get any bigger. So the only answer is to do multiple days, right? As we've said,
Yes.
and maybe
Yes.
add more cities. This will be the big relay. Oh no, wait, they're starting the relay now, aren't they?
Austin is the first relay. Dave, are you doing that?
I'll be there, yeah.
Are you doing the relay?
I have not signed up yet. No, why?
Okay. I don't know. I got the impression that you were getting ready for one of those.
No, I have not planned yet.
If you're
I
there,
wouldn't be
Dave,
surprised to see me thrown in it somehow.
Someone's going to ask you to do it. Cheryl, you're going.
I'm going, and I have no plans to race at all at this point. So if anybody needs me to jump in, I'm going to be there.
You're just going to volunteer?
Maybe we'll talk about some relaying.
There you go. I'm going to go volunteer. I'm going to practice. I'm going to make Dave give me something that's just easy, like box overs, so that I don't have to judge them and be mean, because I'm afraid I don't have the personality for that. But so I can just count. But yeah, I'm just going to go and help out. I'm not ready to race yet. I just don't feel good. So, but I could do relays or doubles or something.
So you're just going to be a good, supportive member of the community.
Well, first of all, my daughter lives down there. We owe her a visit. My husband's racing, so he's going to be out there. But we've kind of done that for a family thing. But I actually do want to see the relay, and I do think this is going to be the big event. I think everybody's showing up to get their qualifications for the elites. I think it's going to be really a fun race. So yeah, I'm going to stay around the whole day. There are 2 days I'm going to be there.
What is the date on this?
It's like September 6th, and the cutoff date for
it's the last chance to qualify for Worlds for Fit.
It's our last chance qualifier for DEKA.
Maybe I should go.
Yeah, you should come.
Maybe I should go. We'll pencil it in. We'll put it in the yellow. We'll put Austin.
Yeah, we got to see what this relay looks like. I really want to see what this relay looks like. Whether I'm participating or just watching, I want to see. I want to see 4 people in the box over area just running into each other.
Can I land in Austin, or do I have to like land in San Antonio and drive?
No, land in Austin.
All right, I'll look into that.
Good.
I'm ranking up those Delta points, baby. I'm going for gold. I made silver again. I'm going for gold.
I'm working on the Marriott points doing all this too, so I'm not sad. We'd all be 3v together. We should be on a relay team.
We should be in a relay team for sure. We should be in a relay team, but I don't know. It might be too soon. I have a lot going on in the next few weeks. So speaking of cities, HYROX finally got ahead of themselves and was like, here's a shitload of cities for next year. What are our thoughts?
Here's a shitload of cities for next year.
I was so excited that day. I thought that was, look, we knew a couple of them, but the fact that they just like threw in Vancouver and threw in Vegas.
Dave, how can you not be more excited for Ottawa?
Listen, Dave, I learned about Ottawa last week. I had to look it up because I'm so pathetic. I didn't know anything. So yeah, I understand why they're doing Ottawa now.
I explained it on my podcast. You should listen to my podcast.
Yeah, Ottawa is the capital of Canada. Yes.
I explained this to our listeners on my Thursday episode last week. So,
okay, do you want me to talk about the Canadian ones first?
I certainly want to hear you are Mr. Canadian fitness race. So
yeah.
So Ottawa, the biggest question we have about Ottawa is why is it Ottawa and why is it not Montreal? Ottawa and Montreal are roughly about an hour, a little more away from each other, depending how you're driving, right? But Montreal is probably the second most famous city in Canada. And as Cheryl said, she had to look up where Ottawa was, right? The problem is, and I can't say this from experience, I'm assuming this is the problem. As a business going into Quebec, it is very, very difficult. There's a lot of different rules with the different language laws. You have to have everything sorted. It's almost like a completely different country from Canada at times, especially dealing with a business venture. To say it can be problematic. There we go.
Troublesome?
Say it could be troublesome, problematic, could be an understatement. So I think what they did was they decided we'll have it in Ottawa, which again is capital of Canada, but it is also literally on the border of Quebec. So they can still get the crowd to come from Montreal, from Quebec into Ottawa. And yet at the same time, we're about 4.5 hours drive from Toronto. Those people will travel there too. So Ottawa will sell out in a heartbeat. It might sell out faster than Toronto did.
Cheryl, you can work on your French and you can be a wall ball judge. How amazing would that be? What?
But then you got to learn how to do like 95.
Hang on, my son is asking me a question. What are you asking me, Jackson?
Well,
how do you say 95? How do you say 95?
95. No, 95.
So 80 is 90?
Which means 4, 20, 15.
Yeah, you have to add it all.
And now if you did it like 99, it would be 99, which is 4, 20, 10, 9. 4, 20, 10, 9.
And then how do you say 100? And then how do you say 100?
So, C-E-N-T, so, like a cent.
Oh.
But that's what we'll be saying in HYROX. So
yeah, but you got to go through 99 to get to song. Anyway, so that's my guess as to why they're in Ottawa. Vancouver.
Why are you acting like you don't care that your country got 2 more events?
Ottawa is going to be a massive. It's going to sell out faster than Toronto. It's going to be huge.
Well, it's going to help those poor Toronto folks who weren't able to get in. I think about all your friends up there.
It's a great time of year. Ottawa is a great place to be. It's going to be fantastic. I'm super excited. Vancouver is a bit of a mixed blessing.
How so?
Vancouver itself is beautiful. If you're ever looking for a tourist destination, it's one of the most gorgeous cities in the world. There's mountains. There's the ocean. It's fantastic. Vancouver in December is like Seattle.
Dark.
Nobody's going to Seattle in December for holidays, right? So it's going to be rainy, it's going to be gloomy, and the race is 3 days before Christmas.
I thought that was odd.
It's going to be a tough sell. Locals, sure, but
Chicago's 3 days before Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just telling you right now, I predict that Vancouver will be much like Boston, where they're not the instant sellout. They're going to be a little slower build and stuff like that. Will they sell out completely? Maybe. But that time of year is troublesome.
The time of year is troublesome. I do think that
problematic.
They chose problematic. They chose Vancouver over Calgary though, just because of the Northwest. Like Seattle could go up there. Portland could go up there. Like you're able to draw from the United States there. I feel like Calgary would not have been as good.
No. Vancouver's a great spot to have it. It's a fantastic venue. It's the time of year that's the problem. So it's really not Vancouver's problem. It's the time of year that sucks.
Yeah.
And I think it will affect sales.
Yeah. My question is why we got Southwest Canada before we got Northwest America. Like why we still don't have a San Francisco or Bay Area race. That to me is the crazy thing.
Well, given that, look, Anaheim is like mid-December, like they really could have just popped. And so then that's probably too soon to do San Francisco by then because it's close enough. So they're hopping up to Canada, sort of throwing Canada a bone.
I just don't know how I've talked to Christian and he's talked about that American cities are really hard and they've been working on San Francisco and Boston for a long time. But I feel like it's somebody's job by now. You could have figured it out. And listen, maybe it does cost $1 gazillion and maybe you lose money on it, but who cares? It helps grow HYROX in America and it's worth it.
Yeah. That was a surprise to me that they're doing Vancouver, but who knows? You know,
and like I said, Vancouver's a gorgeous, gorgeous city. People who go to Vancouver will love it, but that time of year, it's it's just
Not as good.
rainy. It's usually, like, it's not snowy usually. It's usually just rainy, slushy, you know. But
Well,
the event will be
don't see the
amazing.
sun. Yeah.
The event
You don't
will
see
be
the sun.
amazing.
It's so fun. Yeah.
No, the
Well,
event will be amazing.
Well, listen, if it's a good course, I'm going to call it. Let's go ahead and call it a cherry picker's delight. Then you want to go and get an
very
easy
well
course?
could be. It could be.
Let's go.
But yeah, if you're, and I think it's one of the ones, if you're hoping to come to Canada and do a course, it might be one where you'll be able to get a ticket, because Ottawa is going to sell out like mad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just because it's so close to Montreal and people from Toronto will drive there, no problem. It'll sell out.
But
fast.
again, it depends when they do, right? Because people were saying, like, I had people message me and say the reason they didn't buy Boston is because they'd already all bought Toronto, and they were like, well, now I'm not going to both. Like, many of us lunatics will go to both, but like a lot of people aren't. So as Dave likes to say, it was a step in the right direction, but by not giving us for sale dates, at not going on sale this week, at least they go on sale here. It's like, okay, here's how I can kind of start to plan my life. So why they still fuck with us like this, I do not know.
Anyway, but and like, I was at an event this weekend. Everyone's very excited about the extra day. It's week, you know, it's awesome. It's really great. We're really excited. 3 instead of 1, fantastic.
Yeah, for Canada to have those 3 dates now. I mean, you've got Toronto early in the season, you've got Vancouver now in the middle, and you've got Ottawa at the end. Like, I mean, you guys are kind of set. Like, that's sort of nice, and maybe that. Hopefully,
well, yeah, but keep in mind too the distance of like when we say for Canada, what the, like, you know, Toronto to Vancouver is a 5.5 hour flight.
Yes.
Right.
Not unlike Anaheim to New York. Right.
Exactly. So, you know, although we do have, you know, close to each end, not really. I mean, there's still a whole East Coast that nobody has tapped into yet. But yeah, it's a hell of a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
What about the rest of the world? Any of those jump out at you? We got a lot of same cities, some new cities.
Well, I'm happy for Cheryl that it is going back to Vegas.
I'm going to say
it seemed like such a no-brainer.
It still wasn't. We still weren't sure, though, right? With the Phoenix, we still weren't sure. And by the way, did we have that Phoenix date, or we didn't have it yet?
We do.
No. Did we not have it? We didn't have it before yet.
We didn't. We were all thinking it was going to be February, and it ends up it's going to be late January, right? So it kind of takes over the Vegas date.
That's a good time to go to Phoenix.
Oh, perfect. It's going to be absolutely perfect. Yeah, like January 29th or whatever is when.
I don't know how you people survive. I ran yesterday, and according to my Strava, it felt like 95. Now, I'm an idiot for running in that heat, but how do you guys do that most of the year? You know what someone said to me here's a conversation I overheard the other day. I think it was at the airport or on the plane. They were like talking about Phoenix or Vegas. I can't remember which, but they were like, yeah, those 105 days aren't so bad. It's the 115 that really gets you. And it's like,
you're right.
What? 105 is like, what do you mean 105 isn't bad?
Well, first of all, we don't have your humidity, so that helps a ton. Like, just not the humidity really does make a difference.
Cheryl, it's not just the heat.
It's the humidity, right?
I found this. There's a channel.
Try 115.
There's a YouTube channel. Sorry, there's an Instagram channel that's these two guys, and like they always post like stuff about like it's dad stuff, right? So like at one point they're just like they can't get the mower to start, and they're like, "Should we call dad?" And they call dad, and you see like white 55-year-old heavy set t-shirt, shorts, you know, sanders and socks, but they call him and he's just like dun to dun, like slow motion saves the day. Like this is what dads are for, right? Like Dave, that's Dave for short, not this dad, but ugly Dave, like the guy that can fix stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So then they were like, the joke they were going to make was like, yeah, it's going to be nice all week, but I think on Sunday it's gonna, and he's like, don't say it. And he's like, it's gonna rain. And then like the dad comes like, you know, bursting through, you know, because they all know what he's gonna say. We needed this rain. You know, like just like the stuff. So it's like, it's not just the heat, it's the humidity. I guess long way to go to say about that.
Yeah.
So where was I? So Phoenix was exciting news. What else do we get? I can't remember what else we got.
Well, I mean, they hadn't mentioned Vegas at all yet. And so the fact that they announced Vegas on the calendar, I was really, really happy to see that. So we'll have Vegas 1 month after Phoenix, the Phoenix Major, which is going to be huge, of course, in the stadium and that sort of thing. I think that's going to sell out really, really fast.
Oh, yeah.
But hopefully, that gives us some room for Vegas that people who want to attend will be able to attend. I agree with you, Dave. I think Vegas is a no-brainer. Like, it's so easy to get here. It's such a great time of year to be here. And we don't have to deal with the heat. Matt, I'll have to tell you about the race that I do every year here called 3 Degrees of Hell, where we do it at the beginning of August at 5 p.m. at night. And it's usually about 110 when you run the 10K. So we're tough here. Yeah, we're tough here. But this venue is different. They're not doing it at the Las Vegas Convention Center. They've changed it to Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay? What,
Yes.
did I notice this? Why did nobody tell me this? Why didn't you tell me this,
man.
Cheryl?
Just waiting to tell you now.
No, but
So,
when did
yeah.
they announce this? When did they announce this?
It's on the website.
Was
What's
it? But
Mandalay
did
Bay?
it? But did it change? Was it initially LVCC and they changed it, or it's always
No,
been?
I mean, when you look on the HYROX website at the race, it says Mandalay Bay.
These are the kind of things you have to text me immediately when you notice, because this is hot
Oh,
news.
I don't know. I kind of like knowing things that you don't know. So here's Mandalay Bay. Mandalay Bay is less centrally located. It's going to be on the south end of the Strip, and it's it's just a really big property, a really beautiful property, and it's going to have a lot more options as far as restaurants, and it's a little bit more fun that way. But we won't have access to the Sphere and kind of the Strip as much because it's down farther south. So it will be a little bit different. The big attraction at Mandalay Bay is the shark reef. So we could go see some sharks, and you can touch stingrays. They have a little thing where you can touch stingrays.
I'm not touching a fucking stingray.
Oh, come on, man. It's
I've
fun.
touched a stingray.
Yeah, it's not that bad, right? Anyway, so Shark Reef is really, and it's right next to the Luxor Hotel. Do you guys know what the Luxor is?
I've been to
heard
the
of that.
Luxor.
Okay, what is it, Matt? It's the Egyptian themed one, right?
Yes, there's a big lion out, a big what do you call it? What do you call that thing? Sphinx out front. Yes.
And it is shaped in the form of a pyramid, right? It's right next to Mandalay Bay. So you could take a shuttle, you could stay in the Luxor and take a shuttle over to Mandalay Bay if you wanted to. I will say the Luxor is probably the lowest rated property on the Strip.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you do just like a quick little TripAdvisor, review, see what the reviews are. Somebody said the bathrooms weren't clean when we checked in. Somebody said the elevator floors were sticky, which I enjoy very much.
Where did they go? I was right here. Where did they go?
The Luxor?
The Mandalay Bay. Where did it go? I was just here. Here's the Mandalay Bay parking garage.
Yes.
So is this it?
That.
So no, go over to the right. Yeah, drag over to the right, and you can see Mandalay Bay there. Yes, there you go.
Mandalay
Bay. See Mandalay Bay Boulevard. That whole thing is that whole property is Mandalay Bay.
Okay, so where do we think? What building will we be in?
It's going to be they've got a big convention center space, but they also have like I can't remember what they call them, but they're like just big bays, just with like concrete floors.
Well, here's the House of Blues. Will it be near the house? Here's the House of Blues.
Yeah, it'll be south of that, I think.
South of that, so one of these maybe.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, do they have? Like all those bays there. Does it say convention centers there anywhere?
No. Let's type it. Let's type it in. Hang on.
Okay. The convention center area is all that kind of Vegas-y carpeted stuff. And so we won't be
down here. Here we go. Down here. Here we go.
Yeah, there's a convention center. So we're going to be down in there.
Okay. So here's the Michelob Ultra Arena. Who plays here? A team or just concerts?
No, that's just like concerts and stuff.
So Cheryl, you were saying how bad it was. I stayed at, I thought, the lowest of the low, which was Circus Circus. How would you compare it to that?
I think it is rated lower than Circus Circus.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I think so. People really hate the service, and it's just It's bad. So, if you want an adventure, stay at the Luxor. It's probably really cheap. Circus is old, but I think they still do a fairly good job, except you didn't have water at one point, did you?
Did I have water?
I thought that at some point you didn't have water.
No, I can't remember. Maybe I didn't have hot. I think, yeah, when I first checked in, they said we're restarting the water. It was something like that. It was fine. It was like $99 a night and not as horrible as you would think, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think people could stay at the Luxor just for the experience, and I think you'd probably be fine. And it is really well located. So
yeah, if you landed at the airport, you're just like zip around, right?
Yep, you just zip. It's right there. It's right there.
So
we're kind of candy asses about where we stay, though, aren't we? Like, really, like us as a group, the three of us. Like when I think back to where I used to stay for hockey tournaments and stuff, I shared a room with 10 guys and slept on my goalie pads. I think we're a little too.
No, we've definitely talked about this idea of being a little bougie on where we stay. But that's what
I had Isaac Sanderson sleep in my closet at DEKA Worlds. I memean, we're really kind of just a bit much.
Well, so I'm to the point of I like my own space, right? Like I want my own space, so that's important to me. So that's rule number one, where I used to be able to stay with whoever. Number two is it decent? But like I said, I expected Circus to be pretty bad because like the reputation was like, oh boy, Circus, because it's kind of the shitty one. But it wasn't that bad though, is what I'm saying. Considering for $900 a night, it was fine. It wasn't the Four Seasons, as they say. But maybe Cheryl, maybe we can do a whole, like, I wanted to do this for Atlanta and I never did. Like, just sort of traveler's guide. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even though people mostly just stay close to the venue, but it's just like, hey, if you want to go for a cool run and you want to get in your car and drive 20 minutes, here's the best place to run. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and this would be a better spot for a shakeout run. Like, we could meet at the Mandalay Bay and do a nice shakeout run from there. We wouldn't have to navigate.
I've run on the Strip before, and it's a lot of dodging those little carts, those little.
Right. And so, because this is farther south, you don't have all that mess.
You don't have that mess.
Correct. It's a little easier. Yeah. And it's near the Las Vegas sign, like the Welcome to Las Vegas sign.
Well, then
that's pretty cool.
Well, then we'll do that. We'll shake out run to that.
Cool.
All right, we'll definitely plan the HFM shakeout run.
For sure. Are you coming to Vegas?
Well, I feel like I have to because you live there, right? Don't I have to come to all the cities that people live in, that you live in?
Look, I'd be happy if you came.
We just bailed out on Toronto all of a sudden. Like, I got to go to Vegas because Cheryl's in Vegas, but Dave's in Toronto. Fuck that.
Listen, Boston.
Bail on that and go to Boston. Nobody wants to go to Boston.
I only bailed on Toronto because Boston is like around that time, and I do have family in Boston.
Yeah, I'm considering coming to Atlanta. We need to talk about that.
So here's what's interesting. Here's something interesting. This is not on the topic, but I did do some informal asking around to the Elite 15. Some got back to me, some didn't. Like, hey, where are you racing? And a lot of them are like, yeah, the majors. Like, not really fucking around otherwise, which is kind of interesting that that's where we are in the sport. That's like,
but when you have them just pre-qualified, why would they?
Like, because once upon a time it was like you wanted to race more, you needed to race more, but now it's like,
but there weren't so many majors then,
right?
Yeah.
Right, and they weren't all jumping to all of them, right? It wasn't fiscally feasible to jump to all the majors because it wasn't worth it. But now that there's better prize money and more sponsorship and podium deals and stuff like that, it's financially beneficial for them to hit all of them. So they hit all the majors, so they don't need to do the other races,
or even one or two of them. I mean, it makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying that, like, oh, that's where we are now with the sport. Now, maybe some of them will have sponsor obligations and like, hey, they'll be at the booth hanging out in New York, Vegas, Atlanta, whatever. So there might be some of that, but yeah, not a lot of non-major racing for people that are qualified.
Yeah,
we're probably getting to the point where I think early on in the sport, we all kind of were one handshake away from any Elite 15 athlete. And I think we're getting to where we may not be that way anymore. Like, will I ever meet Lucy Proctor? Probably not.
Yes,
right?
you will, for Christ's sake. Yes, you will.
No, but I mean, I think it's going to be harder than it used to be.
No, of course, of course.
I've met Lucy Proctor.
Listen, it's even hard for me. I mean, I think we talked about this, but even the night before Spartan Worlds, I could probably hang out with Ryan Atkins. These HYROX, majors and worlds, they're not answering my call. They're like, I'm in the room. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
I got sponsor stuff and I'm in the room. And so even the whole week of worlds, it was hard to get people to commit to time. So no, it's good news that they're less available. It's good news for the sport. It means that we're doing good stuff. And I think, what did I just see? I think we're going to see more from like Nike. Like, so far they haven't really done much. And now they're like, okay, like they picked up Sika and Bo, who were good, right? They're great, but they're not top 3, right? But I think they see, like, the Puma sales for the fucking HYROX were through the roof, right? So I think we're going to start seeing more of them as we thought. And Adidas picked Ethics, right, as their thing. So, and I think they were both going for Ethics. I think Nike and Adidas were going for Ethics. So I think this is the year we see Nike get into the HYROX train, much like probably more of those like pop-up type things that we saw. Right?
I used a Nike product this weekend for HYROX.
Was it the all new Metcon that is all the rage?
No, knee pads. Why people are not using knee pads on those bloody lunges, I never know.
It's nice.
It's
Smart.
so nice.
Well, if you're
Did
doing
you
it
just have them on the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't bother you to run in them?
No. And you just slide them down like for 2 seconds to pull. Like if you want to slide them down to your ankles and then pull them up to your knees for 2 seconds, it is worth it. You save your knees for 100 meters of lunges.
And it doesn't bother you to have those things flopping around your ankles when you're
They
running?
don't move at all.
Okay. All right. You and Amy Bevilacqua just carrying all your stuff with you.
Yeah, that's why I love Amy. She's the best.
She's just packing it. Yeah.
Yep.
Any other world cities though, Cheryl, that you saw that you're like, okay, this is worth a vacation for the husband and I?
You know what? I didn't recognize half the cities. Like, I was like, wait a minute, where's Incheon? Like, I was really,
I'll give you a guess.
it was a tough day to see all these lists of cities that I had no idea that they were going to go those places. Yeah, it was completely overwhelming. Jabari House and I have been talking back and forth, and he sent me that, and he's like, "Look at this," and I'm like, "I have no idea."
I think it's Korea, by the way.
In Incheon, yeah, I think you're right. So great, right? Like, I don't know. Let's see what their wall balls are like, right? So I just think it was tough to have all those international cities announced and them say nothing about the United States. Right. And then the next day they drop all the North American ones. Thank goodness they did. Cause I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, just throw us a bone, So I don't know. There were no cities that really stood out to me other than it just feels like they're going kind of everywhere. And I feel like all of those cities are going to be a lot like the one last week in India, where it's just kind of entry level, like everybody's just kind of getting the feel for it and just trying their best. I felt like there's a lot of those cities coming.
So, well, here's something. HYROX goes to Atlanta. HYROX goes to Vegas. HYROX goes to Toronto. We all have a hometown HYROX.
Right.
Where would you want it to go that you would want to go? What's your destination HYROX that you want to do?
Ooh.
Well, I would really like, I'm excited to go to Sweden. Like, that's really cool country that I've never been to.
Very cool. And that stadium looks awesome. That's going to be that. I am stoked for Worlds there. I'm not going, but I'm just excited to even watch it.
16 hours of sunlight up there.
Dave, how can you say we're like 11 months out? You're 100% not going to HYROX Worlds?
Yes. Yes, I can.
As a move of defiance?
No, not at all. Not at all. No defiance whatsoever. But the only way I'd be going, okay, realistically, I'm not going to qualify for Worlds as solo.
Right.
The only way I would go is if Riley and I qualified in a doubles, and that's not going to happen this year. That could happen next year when we age up.
Okay.
Right. but it's not
What
going to happen.
about what if there's a head judge like package where they get you the hotel or something?
Paid me? Yes.
Don't they pay head judges?
Yeah, but they'd have to pay me, like pay me and pay
Oh.
my accommodations.
Gotcha.
You know, get me there and pay me, and they're not going to do that.
I hear what
So
you're saying.
yes, I should take it back. I would go if that was a scenario, but I do not anticipate that to be the scenario.
Okay. Well, I would
not, yeah.
I would really love to go to Australia, and I would really love to go to Sweden, and those all have cities already. So I just would have to pick one to. I mean, Sweden, I think I'm going to make happen. You got to start saving my pennies. It's going to be an expensive trip, especially because we know they're going to, it's going to be however many days.
Yeah. For me, Tokyo.
That's the one you'd want to go to?
Yep. Always wanted to go to Japan.
How many hours is the flight from Toronto to Tokyo?
I'm going to go with many. I have no idea. I would say at least 12, 16, something crazy like that.
Hey Siri,
But that would
how
be-
long is a flight from Toronto to Tokyo?
A flight from Toronto to Tokyo takes approximately 13 hours and 43 minutes.
That is not bad at all.
This is from skyscanner.net.
That's not bad at all. I thought it was going to be like 20 something.
No. But I mean, yeah, that's it's always been a bucket list for me. So that would be my destination, HYROX, that I'd like to do.
I would really like to get to Australia in 2026. I really would like to get to some more of these countries because it's like a chance I'd never not get normally, right? It's like an excuse. Like, okay, I'm working, so let's go do something. Let's write it off.
What else you got?
Pulling up the topics.
Well, okay. So just to finish with the cities, I did think it was interesting that there is this barbell spin article that Jabari sent me about Miami wanting to change their spring breaks to be more.
Yeah, see, I thought we talked about that when we learned about that the first time.
The first time.
Yeah. So I think Dave and I probably talked about this. Maybe it's just like pre-Cheryl days. But
Well, I don't know. Like we talked about before, Miami trying to change their image.
Well, because but this document was found. So
Yeah.
back we used to look up the minutes for Tahoe once we learned that like every year they would be like, hey, do we want to give Spartan $250,000 again? Yup, here's the weekend they're coming. And so that's what the city of Miami is doing, and that's the PDF that Spin from Barbell Spin found, which was we want to reframe spring break. We're tired of it just being people destroying our town and beach. What if we're like the cool fitness location? We already have Wadapalooza. HYROX has come here a couple of times. We have this fitness fest we like to put on. So now they're going to jam them all around the time of spring break. Did I accurately describe it, Dave?
Well, Cheryl was, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's their goal. I just don't know if that's actually working for HYROX because we don't have a Miami date yet, and Houston is in March. I don't see them doing Miami. Like Houston's like mid-March, I think. I don't see them doing Miami anytime close to that.
But it's not.
Miami, they want that.
But HYROX doesn't have a problem. Like in Europe, they've put on weekends the same weekend. Like they don't care. It doesn't have to be a different weekend.
I get the impression there's like just one pile of stuff that they're just moving all over the place.
yeah, that's. I mean, how many trucks do they have in sets of equipment?
That's actually a good point. Yeah. When's Houston?
Houston's like the middle of March, I think.
Because it's been in March before. It's been in February and March before in Miami. Remember, there was the Miami, there was the beach one. Like they were all around that time. I feel like, although maybe once it was in the fall. But when is Houston? Just give me the Houston date, and then I can tell you.
All right.
Houston is the 27th, 29th. It's the end. So they've got all of March. So they've got all of March to be there, right?
Okay. They could make it from Vegas to, I don't know, but then they'd have to go all the way to Phoenix or to Miami and then to Houston.
Yeah, that wouldn't be hard though. Vegas ends the 22nd. Remember, they're done that night. Like they pack it up. They could start driving the next morning, right?
Right.
They don't stay that night. Like they get out of there. So it could easily be, when's Wadapalooza?
CrossFit Games next weekend. I know that.
Let's see. Wadapalooza is Let's see.
That article was saying that they've moved Wadapalooza to be more like in March, and they're worried that that's going to affect the CrossFit Open.
They think it's going to affect the Open.
Yes, because the Open is near that time, right? So people who would compete in Wadapalooza might have, it might conflict with them being able to participate in the Open.
Where's the Florida?
March 12th through 15th is Wadapalooza.
Yeah, so it could be the next weekend.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
Anyway, I just thought
the 19th. That would be the 19th through the 20. Where we go? Pull up March.
Yeah, that next weekend before you had.
Yeah, the 20th, 21st, 22nd. Let's say that's 3 days. I mean, I guess they could do a 4-day, but it's probably going to be a 3-day, right?
Yeah. So if Miami got their way, that's when they would want it. But I guess my point is, who needs a HYROX cruise if you're in Miami during spring break for a HYROX, right? I don't think they're going to.
Solid point.
I just think that seems pretty fun.
Listen, I just watched this documentary about someone getting pushed over on the cruise. I don't know if I want to go on the cruise anymore. Who knows?
Right? I saw that.
I haven't finished
I
yet.
just saw the Carnival
tell me what
cruise going through the bad weather. That was enough for me.
I didn't see that one.
I just think the norovirus kills it for me every time. There's no way I'm getting on that boat.
Yeah, I'm not really a boat person. All right, so there's that. I think all we have left then is we think we kind of knew the weekend of the HYROX Worlds, but now we kind of know it more so. We kind of knew it anyway.
Due to your astute sleuthing?
No, that we knew it. We knew it would be somewhere in June, right? And he said it's midsummer. So the actual midsummer week is that date that I listed. However, it technically, I think, lasts 10 days. And so they could throw it on at the end or the beginning. I forget which one it's closer to, because the actual solstice is the 20th, which would be the weekend before. But I would say 90% that's the date. But again, I'm not going to book anything because it's still too soon.
All that means is that every year they keep pushing these dates back. Manchester was end of May. Nice was, early June. And then we had middle of June in Chicago. Like if this is June 20th, like now it's getting late June. Every year it gets, the season gets longer.
Do you, when was Vegas 22? I don't remember. March?
Yeah, it was like May. It was sometime in May.
Was it March?
I don't think so. That was too long ago. I was there and I still don't remember.
Okay. Do you want to cover this last HTX question?
All I will say is, Dave, I had a lot of people reach out to me about the HTX because they wanted to do it in their gym. And so I was sending them links to show them what the format was. And some of the questions, Tracy Weaver, my good friend, she was my hybrid camp buddy. She was running a class where she was going to have people do it. And most of the women were going to do the 20 pounds, but she had somebody who was going to try the 50s and go the 10 rep range. Her question was, if this is a competition, like if we were to sort of, is that woman who's lifting the 50s competing with the women who are lifting the 20s?
No.
Okay, so she's so we have in essence 6 different divisions.
Yeah.
And I guess actually 12 different divisions if you're running.
Men and women, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did originally think about trying to set it up that way, but the process of trying to even out the reps so that it would be similar is so individualistic, and there would testing. I never could figure out numbers that would work, that would make a fair race. So it just seemed to me fair would be to race same against same.
Okay. All right. So if we're doing kind of a little competition within our gyms to do that. So
yeah. And from my personal experience, I mean, obviously depending on your strength level, the 10 reps are faster, right? The heavier weights should be faster.
Yeah, I would think it would be.
Although there's more breaks, but yeah, you still,
30 reps is killing me.
Oh yeah.
We did this. Yeah, we did this.
I would rather do the 10 than the 30 with the heavyweights.
Yeah, it's just a grind. So it makes me afraid of Deadly Dozen, which is like 60 reps, right? Like I just think just multiple reps it just wears on you after a while. But no, just getting really, really good reviews. So the more you can kind of, if you can start
working on that leaderboard thing. That's the big thing. Working on the leaderboard.
Okay, good. That'll be cool.
Once we get that, I do know we're going to have an event at the Farm Girl Gym that we work out of. We're going to have an event there. Just haven't settled on a date yet, and working on the leaderboard thing to get going.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be such an easy thing for everybody to just
and that's the point, is for it to be as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Not in the workout, but in the accessibility.
Yes. So okay. So yeah, that was the only other thing I had on the list, Matt. Matt, you don't want to talk about the major qualifiers being on the site. Is it because it's not accurate?
Yeah, the major qualifiers on the site, and it's not accurate. Good to be Dave. Yep, it's not accurate. I was so excited to see that, and then I was so excited that I didn't bother to see how closely it was wrong, and so it's wrong.
Yeah, like
so,
2 James Kellys on there. Yeah,
like if you are gonna it wasn't on there, so we had to turn a switch on, and it said switch on. You'd think they'd be like, all right, let's cross our T's on this one, but nope, they just turned it on. So I'm sure Anthony has already done the math on the top 50 racers, and he probably knows the actual Elite 15 right now. But if you go to the site, it is incorrect. Yes. I am going to say that it's so fucking silly to me that 7 of those 15 spots are taken. I cannot still understand why this is. If we're to believe the conspiracy that it's better for them and sponsors if they have the same stories to follow, I guess, but not really, because underdogs are always a story, and things shifting are a story, and I just don't see it.
I think honestly, and I think Bracken mentioned this in Race Brain this weekend, I think the change is a way better story. If you can only tell, and I'm going to speak about Lauren, because everybody loves Lauren, me including. I think she's one of the most awesome people in the world, and also one of the best athletes. But I know Lauren's story. You telling me Lauren's story again for the next 3 years, really, I'm not interested in that story. I'm interested in Lauren because I think she's a great human being and a fantastic athlete. But if you want to tell me a story, tell me about Emily Dahman. Right? That's a story. I don't know about her.
Right.
Tell me more about Sinead Bent. I don't know about her. Right. Tell me about Tom Rogers. I don't know about him. Those are stories that I want to know. So
tell me about Yannick Sapala.
Yeah. So I'm with Bracken on this when he mentioned. I think that's not of a benefit.
But like I said, if you're going to go deep into the conspiracy and you think, well, they have these partnerships with the Feed and Puma, and we already have those athletes, so let's stay with those athletes. Again, not saying it's a fact. That's my again, I've heard that, and I honestly at this point don't know if I've ever heard that from anyone that works at HYROX. I don't think I have. I think sources close to the story have said like maybe that's why. But no, I agree with you. And here's why you never need to. It's the beef we had with the fucking Spartan Games. You never need to manufacture drama, because sports is drama. Sports has a begin, middle, and end. It has drama. It has winners. It has losers. It has upsets. You never need to fake it, because it's its own thing. That's what we love about live sports. So it's
actual reality TV.
Yes.
Right.
The fact that Aitor Lizarazu Hormia is number 11 because he qualified in Berlin and Warsaw is interesting.
Tired of being right.
Berlin and Warsaw, are those the 2 easy ones? We know about Berlin, but if you weren't getting rained on.
By the way, if you're a doubles team looking to qualify, like to get up there, and are you not going to Berlin to set your time?
Everybody's going to Berlin, right? Like, yeah.
And is that not horrible?
It is. It shouldn't be like that, right?
You only need 1 for doubles.
You only need 1? Oh, that's right. You'll need 1.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess it's going to be a battle in Berlin. Maybe you avoid Berlin. Maybe you avoid Berlin because it's the hard one.
But it doesn't matter. You don't have to win it. You just got to get the good time.
You're going to have the 15 fastest times. Everybody's going to go.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I was going to say, like, That's what they should get people. That's make Vancouver a big doubles
There
race.
you go. That's right. Everybody go to Vancouver. I personally promise you it'll be a short course.
You know what? I got nothing going this Christmas. Maybe I'll just go to Vancouver.
There you go. There you go. You know what? Honestly, and I don't mean to downplay Vancouver. I go to it, have a great time. Vancouver is an awesome city. Great food, great nightlife, great everything. Anybody who goes is going to have a blast. It's just a little dreary weather-wise, and it's close to Christmas.
Yeah, they're kind of they're undercutting themselves by putting
they're
it
not
on.
they're not showing Vancouver's best.
Right.
It would be like going to Vegas in the summer. I mean, you don't want to go there then.
No.
Exactly. It's the same kind of thing.
Cheryl, really quickly, I watched one video about Vegas, and now it's in my algorithm. And there's this guy that like does a lot of Vegas content, and I meant to message you and say like, what do you think about this, or is this real? But I know you're not really like a strip person, but you do keep up with like the news ish, right? If I wanted to verify a fact about Vegas to you,
Okay.
I don't have any right now. I'm just saying I've been watching it. Listen, my wife's out of town, so I can't watch anything quote unquote good because we would watch good stuff together. So typically it's pretty easy. We watch a lot of good shows together. She falls asleep. I watch maybe 30 to an hour of something on my own, and it's mindless. It's YouTube, whatever. But she's gone. Last night I was up until 1 a.m. doom scrolling YouTube because I couldn't find anything to watch because I was like, anything
just out of content.
So now I'm learning about why Vegas sucks or why Vegas is great.
Yeah.
Whatever clickbait came on because I watched one video about Vegas.
That's coming across my algorithm a lot lately too. So we could talk about that and finish the one about the woman who disappears off the cruise ship because I have opinions about that.
Okay, don't say anything.
I
avoided the poop cruise because I don't like gross things, as you know about me, and so I assumed that one would be too gross.
And that honestly, I was so starved for content. I watched that one. That was the lowest quality documentary I've ever seen in my life. It was poorly done.
Right.
Just poorly done. So save
All right.
All right.
Have a great week, everybody.
Good to see you guys.
Welcome back, Dave. See you later.